Good morning, students. My name is Abhishek Sachdeva. I am from Lalpur Khalsa College of Engineering, Department of Civil Engineering, and this lecture is for Civil 6th semester class, and the subject is Professional Practice. So, students, today in this video, we are going to discuss contracts and different types of construction contracts. So, talking about the contracts, it is an undertaking by a firm or a person to do any work under certain terms and conditions. Contractor, a person or a firm who undertakes any type of a contract, that is known as the contractor. And Arranging contractor. A contract for a work is arranged by inviting sealed tenders by issuing tender notices. So this is basically the structure of the contracts. So students, contract basically it is an agreement enforceable by law. The contract is invariably the proposal from one party and its acceptance by the other. So basically, it is a proposal from one party and its acceptance by the other party. So both the parties they are involving, one will be the client and the other will be the contractor. And in absence of any one of the elements of the contract, it becomes void, that is without a legal effect, or a voidable, that is which can be avoided by any of the parties to it. So basically, in terms of the contract, the term contract in terms of public work department means a written undertaking for the execution of works or supply of materials or for the performance of any service connected therewith, duly accepted and registered by the competent authority on the behalf of the union or the state government. So this is, students, basically the purpose and the meaning of the contract. So different types of the contracts. Talking about the different types of the contracts they may be as follows: lump sum contract, lump sum and schedule contracts or item rate contract, labor contract, target contract, material supply contract, then piecework agreement, cost reimbursement contracts, which is cost plus fixed fee contract, cost plus percentage contract, cost plus fluctuating fee contract, and percentage rate contract. So students, now we are going to discuss each and every types of the contract in detail. So starting with this lump sum contract, it is called drawing and specifications contract. So the contractor agrees to perform a stipulated job of work in exchange for a fixed sum of money to complete it in all respect within a specified time for a fixed amount. So students, in this form of contract, the contractors are required to quote a fixed sum for executing of a work complete in all respect, that is according to the drawing, design and specifications supplied to them with the vendor within the specified time. The departmental schedule of rates for various items of work are also provided, which regulates the payment of the contractor in respect of the items of work involved for any additions and alterations not conveyed by the original work. So, talking about the advantages of this lump sum contract, it has the advantage that the owner knows beforehand exactly what the work will cost. Detailed measurements of the work done are not required to be recorded except in respect of additions and alterations, since the complete picture of the work from detailed drawings and also total cost of the work are known beforehand. Excellent planning and efficient management for execution of work is more convenient, and since difficulty arises in making intermediate payments to the contractor, he tries to complete the entire work as quick as possible to get early payment, resulting quick completion of the work. So the final price is known by the owner before the work commences. So the judgment beforehand can be made pertaining to the construction activities. Now the next is scheduled contract. So scheduled contract undertakes the execution of construction of a work on the item rate basis only. The payment to the contractor is made by detailed measurement of different items of the work actually done by the contractor, and the amount the contractor receives depends upon the number of items of the work done. So basically, students, the scheduled contract is also known as the item rate contract or unit price contract. So for item rate contracts, contractors are required to quote rates for individual items of work on the basis of schedule of quantities furnished by the department. This schedule indicates full nomenclature of the items as per sanctioned estimated quantities and their units. While filling up the rates, the contractors are required to express the amount in figures and word, and also to work out the cost against each item. The final total of the amount tendered for the work is also drawn up by them, and the contracts, basically these types of the contracts, they are generally followed by the railway departments. So advantages, talking about the advantages and the disadvantages of this item rate contract or the scheduled contract, this form of contract ensures a more detailed analysis of cost by the contractors, and as such is more specific. The departmental officers are to work out the schedule of quantities against each item of work, and the contractors are to work out the rates against each item. And students, changes in contract documents can be made easily by the owner, and low risk for the contractor, as the exact final price of the project is not known to the owner until the completion of the project. So since the contractors are to write down their individual rates of separate items in figures as well as in words, it is not easy to form a ring during submission of the tender and to allot a work to one of the contractors without competition. And the contractors work out the rate of all items of the schedule in order to put in the tender. Thus, unworkable rated tender may be avoided and consequently leads to smooth progress and timely completion of the construction activities. So next is the labor contract. All materials for the construction are arranged and supplied at the site of work by the department or owner. The labor contractor engages the labor and gets the work done according to the specifications, and the contract is on item rate basis for labor portion only. So students, this is a contract where the contractor quotes rates for item work exclusive of the element of materials which are supplied by the department free of cost. So the advantages of the labor contract, it includes the materials stored by the government are thus utilized. The next advantage may be the increase in the cost of the work is checked in spite of any rise in the prices of such materials in the market, and difficulty in obtaining certain materials in the open market can be avoided, and thus better progress with the standard quality of the materials can be maintained. So students, it is having certain disadvantages also. There may be delay in obtaining the material by the department. Consequently, the contractor is required to keep himself in touch with the day-to-day position regarding the supply of the material from the department. Theft from storage of materials, difficulty during handling, over storage charge, accounting, all materials are constant worries for the department which are involved in this labor work contract. So next is the material supply contract or contracts for the supply of the materials only. So in this form, the contractors have to offer their rates for supply of the required quantity of the materials, inclusive of all local taxes, carriage and the delivery charges to the specified store within the time fixed in the tender. So students, basically, in this form of the contract, the contractors have to offer their rates for only the supply of the quantity of the materials, inclusive of all local taxes, carriage and delivery charges of the materials to be specified site within the fixed time of the tender. This form of contract is generally used when purchase of materials, that is bricks, stones, chips, furniture, pipes and special items etc. are involved. All materials received should be examined and counted or measured as the case may be when delivery is taken. So again, we are having certain advantages for this materials supply contract. Payment of this type of contract can be made promptly, and so the contractors try to take the supply order even at less profit, resulting low cost of the material. And as the supply of the materials is taken through a contractor, the department receiving the supply of material is not worried due to loss of material, breakage, any type of the mishandling with the material and charges during the transit. So next is the cost plus percentage contract. So in this contract, cost plus basis, the contractor is paid the actual cost of the work plus an agreed percentage in addition to allow for profit. So in this system, contractor is given certain percentage over the actual cost of the construction at his profit, and contractor arranges materials and labor at his cost and keeps proper account, and he is paid by the department by the profit of say 10% or any as decided in the agreement as his profit beforehand. So this type of contract is generally adopted when conditions are such that labor and material rates are liable to fluctuate. In adopting the system of tendering, no bill of quantities or schedule of quantities has to be framed, but the owner of the department should carefully define the actual cost and record exactly what is permissible in the cost of the work. So advantage, talking about the advantage of this cost plus percentage contract, it has the merit and that contracts can quickly be drawn up and agreed, and also work of an urgent nature put in hand completed without delay. It is for this reason that useful to a large extent during war period when urgency prevails and work is required to be started at a short notice. So this type of contract is suitable when work cannot be executed by other type of the contracts at a competitive rate due to the uncertainty and fluctuation in the market rates of labor and the material. So next type of contract is cost plus fixed fee contract. So in this type of contract, the contractor is paid by the owner an agreed fixed lump sum amount over and above the actual cost of the work. This fixed fee shall cover overheads and the profit to the contractor. The fee does not vary with the actual cost of the work as in the case of cost plus percentage rate contract. So talking about the advantage of this particular cost plus fixed fee contract, since the fixed fee cover the contractor's overhead charges and the profit, the contractor shall naturally try to complete the work speedily in order to earn his fee as soon as possible. Next is the cost plus fluctuating fee contract. So cost plus fluctuating fee contract is also known as cost plus sliding fee scale contract. So in this type of the contract, the contractor is paid by the owner the actual cost of construction plus an amount of fee inversely variable according to the increase or decrease of the estimated cost agreed first by both the parties. So thus higher the actual cost, lower will be the value of fee and vice versa. So the main advantage of this contract is, in this case, a contractor shall not try to increase the actual cost, as in the case of cost plus percentage rate, or shall not be indifferent to in the case of cost plus fixed the contract, because interest of the contractor is totally involved with the variation of the actual cost, and the actual cost is thus lower and lower, so both the owner and the contractor will be benefited. So this is the best of the cost plus type contracts. So in this contract, the contractor is paid by the owner the actual cost of the construction plus an amount of fee inversely variable according to the increase or the decrease of the estimated cost agreed first by both the parties. So factors influencing the choice of the type of contract. The factors include the appropriateness for providing an adequate incentive for efficient performance by the contractor, and the ability to introduce changes, and the allocation of risk, and the start and completion date of the project. So beforehand, the execution of the work is judged by considering these factors, and the type of the contract suitably is adopted. And one of the other important category of the contract includes the piecework agreement. So students, talking about the piecework agreement, as the name signifies, the piecework agreement is that for which only a rate is agreed upon without reference to the total quantity of the work to be done for, or the quantity of the work to be done within a given period. So in case of petty work valued up to rupees 10,000 each, inclusive of cost of material, may be carried out through contractors by piecework agreement. So in this type of agreement, detailed specifications and the total cost of the whole work to be done are mentioned. It is terminable from either side anytime and cannot called a contract in true sense. Work may be executed under simple work order agreement. There is no security money and penalty clauses. So advantages of the piecework agreement includes that urgent small work may be taken up for execution without inviting tender, and considerable time is saved. And if the contractor delays to execute the work, or uses inferior quality of the materials, or leaves the work partially complete, another contractor may be engaged at any time. So these are the various different types of the contracts which I have discussed with you. And students, you may get the long answer type question in the PTO examination related to these different types of the contracts. Thank you.